Welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we'll be doing the basic editing to this photo. So let's get started.
Harshvardhanath.com. Unleash the creative in you.
Let's create a duplicate copy of it by pressing Ctrl J or Command J if you are on Mac, and it will create a duplicate copy of it. And now left right click it and select convert to smart object. That way it will be converted to a smart object, and when whatever editing we'll be doing in this image in the Adobe Camera Raw, that would be editable or non-destructive editing. So if I just go over here, filter, and select camera raw filters, it might or might not available for you if you are using the previous version of the Photoshop. I'm using the latest version, Photoshop 2015, but it is also available in Photoshop CS6 if I'm not wrong. Okay, otherwise you can use the Ctrl Shift A command also to have the access to this. Okay, and it will open up this dialog box, and what I do basically first is I press the auto option is works most of the time, but sometimes it doesn't work. Like in this case it is not working. It has made our image way too brighter, which is absolutely not what we want. So I'll drag the exposure back to around here. Okay, and increase the contrast a little bit and leave everything as it is. If you want, you can increase the vibrance of this image so that we get some saturation into this. I don't prefer to increase the saturation because that some sorts of distorts the colors, whereas if you are using the vibrance, that does not do so. Okay, so let's come over here, leave this curves alone, come to this sharpening and press Alt or Option and select this masking slider and drag it towards the right, and until we see this black and white, this has created a mask over it, so that we can decide where we want this sharpening to apply. So if we are dragging it towards it so that we can see the edges only, so in that case the sharpening would be applied only on the edges and not on the rest of the part, because that what we want a little bit sharpness in the edges. So wherever there is a black color, the sharpening will not be applied, and wherever there is a white color, sharpening would be applied. Okay, so after dragging it around here, leave it and increase the sharpening a little bit. Okay, and now this is for the noise reduction. You can increase it a little bit so that it removes the noise. Since this image shot with the mobile phone camera, so it is, you can see it's pixelated, it's not, the quality is not that good. In order to fix that, we need to reduce the noise. Okay, after doing that, around here, right click and select fit in view. Okay, now come over here on this option, remove chromatic aberrations. If you are not aware what is chromatic aberration, sometimes we see a purple or a bluish fringe like this one on the edges of the subjects in our image, so it basically removes that. But here it is not the problem. This is the color of this dress, so it's not going to fix that. If you want, you can do that, but there is no necessity into this. Okay, but I just do that. Okay, so now come over here on this FX panel and drag this post crop vignetting slider towards the left so that we get little bit of dark edges on the corner. So that's it, and now we can press OK, and our basic editing is almost done. There is one thing I am noticed that there is a fly on the back of the dress. So just in order to remove that, let's create a new blank layer and press J on your keyboard to have the access to the spot healing brush. So select J and now click and paint over it, and it will automatically remove that. Most of the time it does a perfect job. Okay, make sure you select sample all layers, otherwise it will not work. All right, so this is done. So thank you so much. See you in the next lecture. In the next lecture we'll be introducing sky to this image.